Hello, everyone, and it's great to see you again on Challenge 18 weekly webinar. And today we have with us a special guest from Kenya. Her name is Miss Kokwon Noel Blue, and she will present us the Ocha Kwetu tribe and an opportunity to visit Kenya and plant trees. I'm on, just for you to know. If you want to see me, I'm there. So that's more or less planting trees, and definitely much more. Just get to know the vibe, the frequency, and yeah. And I think maybe just to have a better understanding of how other communities out there operate, and how other things can out there in our world think and act and contribute for the betterment of humanity. So, Miss Blue, the stage is yours, and feel
Thank you very much.
Share your screen and guide us through the tour to Kenya.
You're welcome. All right, so let's begin by sharing my screen. Okay. Rega.
Yeah, make it down below. You have a the full screen.
Yeah, wait.
Beautiful. Oh, here is Move to is joining us.
All right. So hi everyone. My name is Kokwon Noel Blue. I'm part of the family of Ocha Kwetu. I'd like to take you to the journey to Bondo and Baringo. Maybe something to know about me. I'm a graduate student. I'm pursuing environmental quality sciences, and I love to travel to meet people, and also I love of dance. I love to dance Latin, and I think through dancing I connect to people also in my own way. And yeah, so anyone would ask like, what are you doing in Ochakwetu? Why Ochakwetu, and why not any other?
Move to please silence. Yeah, okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. So anyone would ask me why Ochakwetu and what are you doing there? So I think in life you get to a point where you ask yourself, what's the purpose of life? What am I doing in life? What do I bring on the table? And I think with Ochakwetu, it provides for me a platform to give back all the knowledge I've acquired in my life, because what's the point of gaining all this knowledge and you don't have somewhere you're taking it to? So Ochakwetu gives me a chance to be able to give all this knowledge that I have and to participate. So welcome to the journey to Bondo and to Baringo. So anyone would ask, who are we? Like, what goes on in Ochakwetu? So we pride ourselves in 4 areas. We have the forest, we have the living food, we have travel, and we have the tribes and camp. And you'd ask yourself, what is this all going on with the tribes and everything else? Can you hear me? I hope I'm clear.
Yeah, the line is a bit cut, so yeah.
Okay, I hope it will be well. All right. So with tribes and camps, Ochakwetu connects people because we have people coming from different countries, even the local Kenyans, who we make them travel back to their rural homes to connect them to the people, to share stories, because we believe if you travel to your rural homes, you meet with your grandmother, with your grandfathers, and who are better people with stories. It's them who gives us the stories. So we connect them to meet with their local people, and we share all the stories. And on unconscious travel, you'll hear a lot of me talking about the local traveling, local food, local everything in every sense of Ochakwetu is local empowered. So when you travel with Ochakwetu, it means you travel in a local way. It means you travel in a local way, you experience the unique opportunity to travel and meet African tribes. tribes that you've watched in the movies. This is what you'll see when you travel to Ocha kwetu. And you'll also be supporting the locals because it's about sharing knowledge. You're with the local people of the tribes of in different areas in Kenya. And as you live with them, you get to share, like they share with you what they have, the potential that they have, and you also give them. It could be something simple like sharing language, like how do Israelis say hello? How do people from Portugal say hello? And they'll tell you how they also answer back. So it's sharing of anything that you have. There's no any rule in sharing. And when you talk about living food, it means growing your own food. It's growing your own life. If you visit many rural tribes in Kenya, you'll notice they have a farmland close to the kitchen. If they need, like, for instance, vegetables, your grandmother will ask you to go get it just close by. So this is something which we empower people to still know that you can grow your own living food. You don't have to have a big farm. You can have whatever you have and you grow with it. Then finally, something which Ochakwetu is big on is the forest. Wow. I can sing a lot of song when I talk about forest because, with forest, you have a lot of things. You have timber, you have carbon sequestration, you have, it prevents flooding because it holds the soil together. There's a lot of magic with the forest. And Ochakwetu, every home we go to, we ensure we plant trees. So we had projects. We have had projects in in 2 counties, 3 areas in Kenya. We had it in Bondo, which was our first project. In Baringo one, it's a different constituency, and Baringo two. So if you see the first picture, that's one of our tribal member who was talking to one of the students in one of the Baringo one. If you see the middle picture, that's an area, it's Lake Victoria in Bondo area. And if you see the third picture, that is the first event we had in Baringo. So all these are the project areas that we had in Ochakwetu. And of course, we have many more. So Bondo, like if you ask yourself, where is this place? So Bondo, it's in Nyanza in Kenya. So this area, it's known for fishing. They are very big with fishing. You'll taste amazing fish in Bondo. And if you visit their homes, it means most likely what they'll serve you is fish. So it's important to know some of these things because you prepare yourself, because if you're traveling with Ochakwetu, because you'll be staying in a communities, it means most likely you will share with them the food. And if you're in Bondo, be sure most likely you'll have some of the various types of fish because this is what they have. They have the lakes and they also have River Yala. So the people of Bondo, they also carry out organic farming, which is something which mesmerized us because in Kenya, there is a lot of conventional farming. But the people of Bondo, they pride themselves in still growing crops organically. And this is good for the soil, good for the environment, and basically also good for their own health. So this is something which, as the tribal people of Ochakwetu learned, and it was exciting for us because we want people to care for the environment. We want them to care for the soil and also to care for their health. So our first tribal gathering was in Bondo. And as you see, this was my picture. I was with the kids. And this is one of the events, like in people of Bondo on Sundays, they go to the church. People of Bondo on Sundays, they go to the church. And I think it's an amazing thing because they get to be together. And if you have people who can be together, it's easy for you to communicate with them. So something which is amazing with the people of Bondo, the community is something like everyone knows each other. So if it means if I have a guest today in my house, the neighbor of the other far end will come to assist. So the kids, I can tell you something which we hadn't planned for the kids, by the way, as Ochakwetu. We went to Bondo with mentality of meeting the tribal, the community, the parents themselves, and the ladies, and just basically them. But the next morning we woke up, the kids were outside, like all the village kids were outside, and they were anticipating for us to also speak to them. So it's amazing how news travels in the villages. They're all one people, a whole big community. So this was our first tribal gathering in Bondo. And this was me with the kids, and the other tribe members were with the ladies in the other picture, and we're sharing a lot of things. This was one of the evenings in during the session we had. As you can see, the ladies were removing the vegetables, and you also see one of our tribal lady joining them. In our culture, if you see people doing something, for instance, if you see people in the farm, you join them and you want to speak to them. You just don't talk to them while they are digging the holes and you're like, hey, what's up? No, you join them and you dig the hole as you speak to them. So the picture you see on your left, it was us during one of the evenings. We joined the ladies. They were removing the vegetables, preparing it for dinner. And we did it with them as we talked to them. They talked about how they grow their crops organically. They talked about the challenges they face, the competition from those who grow in a conventional way. So we were sharing with them and we advised them to brand themselves as organic farmers because organic food, because people are aware of their health and the importance of eating from organically produced food, it has become priced, like it's more price, like it's more expensive, which would be good for the communities to brand themselves, just not as any farmers, but as organic farmers. So they talked about how they grow their crops, how some of them face this challenge, and we were able to disperse the knowledge that we have. Remember, I told you guys that I was looking for a sense of purpose in this life. I wanted something that I could give back. And this is how all the knowledge that I have, I can give back and with my fellow tribe members. So we shared knowledge and we also gained from the tribe people. We learned so many things which we would never learn from the YouTube. The other pictures, it's basically us planting trees because wow, we cannot leave any home without planting trees. This is Ocha kwetu. We have to plant trees and we don't stop. So knowledge was shared across the tribes and the communities. This other picture you see, it's during one of the events also. We have one of the tribal members singing, playing with the kids. We also wanted to play with the kids because we noticed that the kids are the future of tomorrow. We noticed that the kids are the future of tomorrow. So if we do not involve them in any tribal meeting, what's the sense? So we played with the kids and we involved them. We, we played we played with the kids and involved them. And the other picture that you see, it's the communities who welcomed us on the first night. It's something I just mentioned before that in the villages, the problem of one neighbor is the problem of the other. Like a problem shared is a problem solved. So these people that are seated there, they are from different homes. But because we came, they also came because something which I think even for us that as we go on, you notice that we become individualistic. We want to live our lives alone. We want to live our lives alone, but in the communities, they all live as one. And it's something which you can only learn if you travel in a local way, if you travel there to share all these amazing gifts that we have. It's the only thing we can learn when we travel there. And this is why we're encouraging most of us to go back. We are reconciling the people back to their places. This is why we want them to see all these amazing things which you cannot see if you just live in the city or you live your own life. So our second project was in Baringo. This is another county in Kenya. So this county is known for the flamingos, the pink, beautiful birds. And the agenda here was to visit schools, to visit the local community and establish a tree culture, like basically a tree culture with the schools. But this one was basically mostly with the students, schools, and the local people. So if you see this was Baringo 1, it means it's the first place visited in Baringo. This trip was amazing. Wow. Because it was the schools were split between a long distance. Like we couldn't cover it in 1 day or even 2 days. It was amazing. It was crazy, which was beautiful. So the first school that you see, we had amazing tribal members who understood the assignment. So in the first school, you see with the gray, one of our tribal member was speaking to the boys. We divided group because we wanted to cover because the school has a lot of students to cover a lot of ground. So we divide the students among our tribal members, and would give one tribal member to handle the boys, to handle the girls, and another one would handle the teachers. So the second one that you see, the ones are dancing, and the other one with the blue uniform. So something which we were doing with these school visits, myself, because I mentioned I love to dance. Before the groundbreaking, is this is an icebreaker. Would dance, would play for them music, just to break any bridge and to let them know that we also vibe. Like, you shouldn't be scared of us. We also vibe. We are here because we want to talk. We want to disperse all this beautiful knowledge. We want to talk to you guys about conservation, and that you kids can be part of this amazing agenda of conservation. And 10 years later, you will be standing here talking to the kids, or even be part of Ocha kwetu. So would want to break the ice and let them dance before we get down to the matters of why we came to the schools. So in Baringo 1, we we had to make sure something which I didn't mention, we just didn't plant trees. We planted trees, yes, the normal trees, and also we specifically picked fruit trees, because we know the importance of fruit trees, because in Baringo we have a problem of, it's a dry area. In some areas it's very dry, and they have problems of the distance between the schools and the home is far, and some of the students cannot go home. But if we provide for them fruit trees, they can just pluck it and have it for lunch, and eat it. So we bought fruit trees which were locally sourced from the local people who sold it, and trees which we knew could survive. Because what's the point of getting a tree which cannot survive? Like, bring a tree from a different city to the villages or to the communities. It's no point. There's no point there. So we picked fruit trees, planted it in school. We also planted trees in local communities, because we want the communities to also be the guardians of those trees, as we planted others in school. Then we derived a lot of inspiration, because we spoke to the communities. This community, they are the same people who are the parents of these kids. A lot of inspiration of why the parents should take their kids to the school, importance of environmental conservation. It was amazing because the community took part in it. The guy you see with the brown jacket, he's actually a head teacher of one of the schools. He joined us. And imagine, as a kid, seeing your own head teacher joining in planting trees in the community. Of course, as a kid, it excites you because, wow, my head teacher is planting tree. So they'll also be excited to be part of it. And this was one of the most humbling experiences for them to join us in this. So in Baringo 2, this was the second gathering we had. It was, and also our most recent event. We had school visited. We also were big on environmental conservation, and we gave out books, and of course, trees planted. So Baringo 2, something which we did different, I'd mentioned in Baringo 1, for tribal members, we didn't have the gentlemen, we only had ladies who were part of the Baringo 1. So Baringo 2, we wanted to make sure that we have men, like the men who could speak to the boys, because as you spoke to the kids would ask, where are the guys? Like, where are the men? And as Ocha kwetu, we had to go back to the drawing board to have the tribal men to come with us. So in Baringo 2, we went full geared with all the team ready. So if you see in the images, in the first image, it was one of the tribal ladies speaking to the girls. We separated them because we wanted to have a girl conversation, girl to girl, or we call sister to sister. And the other one, you see one of the tribal guy speaking to the boys. And the last picture, you see all of us. We took the head teacher, the teachers, the students, and the tribal members in Ocha kwetu who are involved, because we know the importance of all of us planting trees. So Baringo 2, one of the amazing things, we built capacities of teachers and students to be able to take care of the trees, because we encourage them that we are leaving you guys with these trees, but we also want you guys to take care of it. And we inspire the people to journey back home. Listen, we are coming to your school, 10 years to come. I'm sure you guys will be way ahead. Get back to your home. Do this, let the chain and the circle continue. So this is something we did in Baringo too. So thank you very much for listening. It was nice talking to you guys. Ciao.
Yep. Thank you very much for this lovely presentation. I have a few questions. Like, what's the difference between 1, 2, and 3? I think there was the
Yeah,
Baringo.
yeah. So basically Baringo 1 means the first project we did. So we called it Baringo 1.
Okay. So these are
Baringo,
projects you mean like that you've done in the past, and now the delegation, the trip, is going to experience some from Baringo 1 and some from Baringo 2, I believe. Am I correct?
yes, 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 yes.
I see. And who
And
is
also Bondo.
okay? And who is your target audience? I
So
I
our target,
I believe that in the itinerary we'll share the dates, the prices. So I'm not going to ask about this. I'm more interested to know who is your target audience, that you really aim for.
yeah. So I will answer this and then Muftu will also give something that if he feels I've left out. So our target audience, it depends. Like in Bondo, we have the local community. We already have an established organization of ladies, the community in the area. So they are our target communities. They are called the Barkanyango ladies community. And in Baringo, our target communities is the kids, the school, the kids and their parents.
Yeah,
So
my question was about who is your. I understand about the communities and it's the women and the
yeah,
farmers and the kids. This I understand locally, but who
yeah.
is your target audience you want to come? What type of
Ah,
people will come? Is it only Israelis or it's okay?
ah,
The people
ah,
will come from other places. And
okay. Now I understand your question.
mm,
Yeah. So for us, we are open to anyone who feels led that would want to join such an event, because it has to come from your heart. What you believe is always working with the heart. So if you feel inspired that you'd want to speak to communities, you feel like you have this calling that you want to go back and learn about how people live in different tribal places and
mm,
promote environmental conservation,
mm,
you can join us. It's an open thing, but led by the heart,
mm,
because as you see what you are doing, some of these things you are doing, it entails like it needs a lot of focus, because you're playing with the kids, you're speaking to the ladies, it needs a lot of patience. So anyone who feels can do this and led by the heart, it's open for them, not
so
just Israeli,
basically,
anyone.
this is not a regular trip. You're not coming to the safari to see the elephants and the lion and oh, it's a giraffe. No, no.
So
Oh, it's my giraffe. Oh, listen. No, it's more like living with the local community to see how they think, how they grow their crops, how they make decisions together. This is a question I want to ask you, Miss Blue. So
yeah,
how,
and
how do they make decisions together? This is a big question.
yeah, wait, I forgot to mention something to you, Sharon, that during like the times we're in Bondo, of course there are free times because you want to explore. Myself, it was my first time in that area, Bondo. There are days, like for instance, one day we took a chance to travel and see, we went to Bondo and we're looking at the move to, can you remind me the area? There's a place, he knows the area well, but we travel around the area. So if you're in, for instance, in Baringo, and there's elephant place around there, it's a local place, so you will go, you can see it. If you're in Bondo, it's more of lake, there's a history about the people of Bondo, they can visit. It's not restricted, but what we say, we have a main agenda that you want to accomplish. The other events, it's also organized. You can go within the local area and travel to see those things, the safari in those areas, but we have a main agenda. That's what should be known.
I
Yeah.
see. I believe that Muftu has also a guest that she did Baringo too, right? Am I
Sorry,
correct? Hmm? I
what
think you
what you saying?
I think you have with you a lady that she attended Baringo too, right? Maybe she
Bondo.
would. Maybe she wants to share about the experience, or maybe you
No,
want to share.
she's not here to share, but she will
I
share
see.
like
I see. But I have
later.
a question for
But
you, Mutlu. How
okay,
how does the community take decisions? Now, let's say, you know, let's say in the case of you talk about the crops. So who decides if now we are going to invest in buy tomato seeds or maybe cucumber seeds? Or maybe we buy trees, you know? How do you decide on that?
what we do in Ocha Kwetu tribe is we love to listen. You can hear me now?
Speak louder.
Okay. I'm saying like what we like to do in Ocha Kwetu is like to listen, to observe and to listen. And before we go to any place, we get an invitation from the home or from the community member that invites us to their home. And when they invite us to a home, is first of all they will inviting us because they know we are coming to add value to their home. And one of the value that is universal value, which is also very diverse in its nature, is planting trees. Trees are important everywhere, but not all trees are that should be grown the same trees everywhere. So every place we do the intelligence of the place, and then we understand the trees of the place, and then we try to source as much as possible from the place.
Wow.
And if not, we get
Let me
outside.
understand. This is very beautiful. So you are saying we are coming as a delegation for planting trees with the local communities. Is that correct?
Yeah, in a deeper sense, you're coming to meet the other person. So
But
you're coming to
this is
meet
beautiful.
the people in their places. So you're coming like to mainly to do this, like to observe, to see, and to create deep, meaningful connections with the people of the place and with their land. That's why people say that you will travel also around.
You say it it's a one way to look at it. It's modestly, but I think that added value, you know, here that
Yeah.
we come as a delegation to plant trees in the communities, you know, and as our token of appreciation, gifts, you know, and like Miss Blue just mentioned, 10 years, you know, we'll see the trees, you know, they are already 10 years old. This is bonding, it's co-creation. I love this. This is beautiful. Listen, we have only 10 minutes more, so I want to ask you a few more questions. And whatever we don't mention here, don't worry, we'll share in the itinerary. So you can fill out the form and register if you are interested to join our delegation. So I want to ask you, Miss Blue, why do we do it? Like, what's the most important thing for you to conserve and to improve in the community? Is this where you grew up?
That's a very good question. And I think I also mentioned why I am in Ocha Kwetu. So first of all, yes, this is where the Ocha Kwetu, it's a Swahili word that means your rural home, where your people are, like where you grew up. So yes, Baringo is where I grew up. This is my home. Two, why it's important, it's because I of course have been there. I know the challenges that the people, the kids go through to go to school. I know the problems of there's the trees, the fruit trees. I know how important it will be for any kid who doesn't have something to eat for lunch. So the reason why I'm doing this is because yes, it's where I grew up from. Two, it's because I know I'm making a change in that one child's life, in giving them something to eat and giving them hope that 10 years to come or 15 years to come, they can do it. I want to create a circle that once maybe 20 years I might not be here, but someone else will, because of this, will be led to do this.
Yes, you are here. Come on.
No, maybe I'm far away, you know, you never know. We're
No,
always
here.
evolving.
I mean, here. You know what I mean. So you are saying that your goal. You are saying that your goal is to, on the bigger picture, it's to give hope to the young
Yes.
kids and the families.
Yes.
And to achieve this through like something that is very much traditional, planting trees. It's very simple, but so meaningful, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so I like it very much. Now I asked you before about the target audience. So I would love maybe move to elaborate on this, because this is a key question.
Yeah.
Who are the people that you visualize? Okay, now they are 10, 20, I don't know how much you um, aim for, but just picture me. How do they look like? How do they act like? The background.
So basically, the people we are targeting with as travelers are people who we call them conscious travelers. It's like people who are aware of their place, of our interconnectedness, our interdependency with our place, people who subscribe to Ubuntu, people who subscribe to taking care of nature, fair share, people who want to activate the same thing we're activating, which is collaborative abundance with infinite diversity in local places, local to local. So what we are doing, I mean it before, is like we're taking conscious travelers and connecting them with local tribes in Africa.
Okay.
So it's like a kind of reciprocity. So they are getting a journey, which is an experiential journey, learning process. That's why our trips are not like any other trips. And then on the other hand, the tribe also goes through their own journey of understanding this person deeply and the stories that he will share, or the skills that they will collaboratively exchange and share. Yeah, so the target is meeting the tribes in Africa and stuff. So it's like local people and conscious.
So your target audience is more the conscious traveler. This is not the tourist type that wants, like,
No.
I had a nice comparison. A tourist is someone who wants to escape life, and a traveler is someone who wants to explore, experience. Exploring it on another level, you know.
Exactly. People want to travel their values, people want to play, people want to see themselves with different eyes, adventurers, curious babies, you know. And yeah.
Okay, I see that. So maybe I'll ask you a bit philosophical question. What's important for you, Miss Blue, about the connection with the community? Because you are here in, I think, traveling all around the world. So what's the most important thing for you in your relationship with the Ocha Kwetu, your homeland community?
Well, I'll just answer in a simple way. What's important for me, it's to remain connected forever. That's just what is important. Because if I remain connected, wherever place I am, I still have a place I'm calling home and I'm proud of. Just to remain connected. That's it.
I see that. Beautiful. Okay, we have about 3 minutes time. So my question for you guys, if you want to share maybe a short story from your community in the time remaining, or you want to continue with the Q&A or our conversation. I think.
Before, I will love to also acknowledge the presence of George Mbonde.
Yeah.
He's here also in the Zoom to listen to us. He's one of our young members, still in the university, but very vibrant in this field. So if he has something, he can say something or question. Or I think it would be nice if you will allow.
Okay, so you're welcome, but let's do it quick. Because the focus is here about the delegation. We want the delegation to be successful, right? And and we want to see a continuation for this in the following years to come. So, George Mundo, if you have a question, maybe it's your time to ask the last question for today. Go ahead.
Maybe also because of time, he can invite people to Bondo in the end and also introduce himself. And it would be nice.
It's okay. I'll just introduce myself. I'm George Mbunde. I'm a student, and I'm a proud member of Ocha Kwetu. We have enjoyed all the journey all along. So I just want to welcome all of you who will be able to join us in August. You're very welcome to Bondo. I'll be there. I'll be sharing a lot, and I'll be very proud to see you guys here. Yeah.
Thank you, Giorgio. And I'm very grateful for you guys for doing this. This is amazing, like, I mean, organizing something, for the new generation, with the mindset of the local citizens, for the people who really have such a mindset of fixing the world, fixing themselves, changing the system, and so I really want to say thank you for doing this and sharing with us your story tonight. And I'm looking forward to seeing you and participate in the delegation, plant trees together. And yeah, let's share this with our communities that we are part of and like-minded people, architects of change. So again, thank you, Noel Blue. Thank you, Muftu, and thank you, George Mundo.